What's up, everyone? My name is Alex, and welcome to my little corner of the internet. I wanted to talk about how I function in my day to day life as a system. I don't really talk about just how being a system affects my everyday life or like what it's like every day. So I thought I would cover something like this. I think it would be very helpful. The three of us, me and my headmates, we are a median system, meaning that there is a lot of blurring between us. There's a lot of blurring between like the different aspects of our identities. There's a lot of overlap between us. So everyday living is a little bit not really complicated, just a little difficult sometimes. So struggles with everyday living. Decision making. I am a very indecisive person, and I think a lot of it comes down to struggling between what I want and what my headmates want. Struggles between needs and wants between all three of us, and finding a way where these kind of things, like we can decide on something like this that satisfies all of us. Just literally anything, financial decisions, deciding whether or not like we want to go out or hang out with friends, or like, do I want to like get into this hobby? Do I want to like do this tonight to entertain myself, or do I want to relax? Do I want to clean? Do I want to like anything? Like anything. All decisions have to come through this filter of, maybe like one of us doesn't want to do the thing, and then we're left kind of arguing amongst ourselves, like whether or not we should do the thing. So there's always like a 10-step process to a very easy thing otherwise. One big struggle is emotions, like how to feel about a certain situation. In some circumstances, like I prefer to take the more, I think, non-confrontational route and more level-headed route, whereas like Austin is very hard-headed and very protective, so he always wants to argue and fight, and I mean, he doesn't want somebody to walk away without knowing that like they annoyed me, or they like did something wrong, or like something they're doing is upsetting or non-conductive to our progress, I guess, like at work or something. There's a lot of that, whereas Avery tries to get everyone to get along. So she would take the more pacifistic route, I suppose. She just wants everyone to be able to communicate openly and to be kind to each other, while the other two of us are fighting whether or not we want to like cuss somebody out. It's stuff like that. And I mean, even that kind of thing, like even emotions are filtered through the fact that like I'm a system and there's three of us all trying to decide how to react to or handle certain situations. I've talked a lot about identity struggles, and a lot of my identity struggles comes from, I don't know, just trying to decide like I want to appease everyone. And when there's three of us, that makes gender presentation very difficult, because it's like, do I want to be like, some days I'm feeling more feminine, but like that is not Austin's thing. Sometimes I'm feeling more neutral, but Avery is very feminine, though indifferent, genderless. She doesn't care for gender, but given the choice, a feminine presentation is probably something that she enjoys. I want to experiment with so many things, and then there's the part of me that's kind of hyper masculine that like doesn't want to do that. A lot of it's fear of being judged, or fear of like presenting in a way that doesn't seem like it fits me. I mean, when's the last time you saw me dress femininely, or at least feminine leaning on this channel? I went through this like phase where I was like always wearing like the long cardigans, and I mean, I still have my nails painted. They're just, look very bad because I went to work and it was a busy work week, so my nails look terrible. But yeah, painted nails, all that other stuff. But I don't know. It's hard to find a middle ground between, that hyper masculine side and the somewhat feminine side, or even somewhat xenic side, like relating to being xenogender, something like outside of gendered convention. Finally, exploring my otherkin identity is a little bit difficult because I think there's a lot of overlap of non-humanity between the three of us. Avery is definitely non-human and relates a lot to different, actual, Earth creatures. So Therian is probably the best way to describe that. But she's literally non-human. It's not that she's otherkin. So I've got this very non-human side of me, and Austin is a very draconic kind of person, similar to me, but I think more human than anything. And exploring, if I'm otherkin, am I more animalistic, or am I more just touches of animalistic traits? I don't know where I fall on that spectrum, I guess. And it's the more down to earth actual animal versus mythology, the spirituality of it, astral. I mean, I have an astral dragon form in Headspace. That's the form that I take in order to enter Headspace, and to navigate it. And I that's all I really know about myself. Whereas the others, I'm not really sure. I do feel like there's a pretty significant overlap between our identities. So I don't know where I fall, because it's the other headmates' identities bleeding into my own, and making things kind of muddy, kind of hard to distinguish where I am and where they are. Another struggle I had, especially when I first discovered I was a system, was finding a space for everybody. Especially I was trying to make sure I had a space where each of us could use social media and vent and interact with content on the internet that appealed to us. So Avery has her own Tumblr. It's still there, but I haven't we haven't used it in quite some time. But she had that, and Austin has had his own Tumblr, and then I ended up we ended up deleting it because he had really no use for it. It was very weird splitting everyone up, so I tried to make a blog where all three of us could post and share content that interested us. That didn't last very long either. Just sometimes there are such blurry days that there is no way to distinctively post as ourselves or share content under, we'd use a tagging system so that we could organize content that we would share. So all of Avery's content was under one thing, all of Austin's content was on another, and that kind of helped all three of us using the same blog. But then I don't know, it was just very it felt kind of messy, and there were some days where it's I don't know what to tag this as. It's almost two or even all three of us are sharing this content, so there's no distinction. I also have struggles with I'm opening my phone up. I have playlists that are separated for our different music tastes, which means that my phone has so many different music artists all over the board. Austin's, I'm not reading the name of this playlist. It was his idea, and I don't the name of the playlist is Austin's list, and I hope that I remember to censor that. But I mean, There's a lot of Green Day and Blue Oyster Cult and Disturbed, Simple Plan, Avenged Sevenfold. There's kind of a theme there. A lot of rap too. There's some Eminem. There's some System of a Down, Puddle of Mud. Like, that's all on my phone. I mean, I enjoy a lot of this music too. We all kind of enjoy the same music almost. Avery's a little bit more particular. Her playlist, which is just labeled Avery, all lowercase, the Plain White Tees, Pentatonics, Lady Gaga, Pink, a handful of Coldplay, because she's a big fan of like almost like otherworldly sounding like music. How do I even explain it? I don't even know. It's really good music to daydream to. I don't know what you would like call this type of like music. There's a lot of love songs. There's a lot of Celine Dion, some Cher. It's yeah. it's a lot of like softer sounding music, calming music to daydream to, love songs, stuff like that. A lot of female artists too. Whereas my music, I mean, I have a really good like mix of, I guess, tastes myself. Lately I've been listening to a lot of country. I like a handful of a cappella bands that I found on YouTube. I like nostalgic music. I like music from like the 90s that I listen to a lot. So a lot of like boy bands, a lot of like NSYNC kind of stuff. I don't know, some pop music. There's particular songs I really like. I like Lady Gaga. I like Marina and the Diamonds. Cher. I definitely like Cher. ABBA. Big ABBA fan. I don't know. Like, it's kind of all over the place for me as well. There's some punk rock that I like. There's very particular heavy metal that I like. I like Atreyu. That's the only example I can really think of. There's some System of a Down that I really like. I'm very picky about rap music because I was exposed to a lot of like stuff like Eminem. Yeah, a lot of music I listen to is from my childhood. A lot of like the golden oldies type stuff. I like the Temptations. I like the Ronettes. I like the Supremes, like Diana Ross and the Supremes. That's my music taste. So it's kind of all over the place, and the struggle to like pinpoint what things I like, what things I'm into, just because there's just so much variety, so much diversity between the things that we're into, the hobbies we're into, the art we create, the music we listen to, video games as well. Austin is definitely like a horror game type of fan. Resident Evil, which I like as well. Silent Hill, I love those kind of games. Avery, I don't think is much of a gamer unless it's like the classics, N64 or older, and like simple games, and also things like Flight Rising or Fur Villa. I have accounts like between like those two, and like we enjoy playing those, especially Avery. Avery loves just a very simple, like, you're breeding creatures or you're raising creatures, or in this case you can like role play on websites like this. There's also a struggle to create art, like artwork that reflects us individually, because we all feel different things at different moments. So like sometimes I want to do a vent piece that like speaks to my identity, whereas like Austin isn't much of an artistic type. He doesn't really I don't think he really like makes artwork with us or with me, because I'm the one who draws, but a lot of his venting is like dark, and it's very emotionally driven, I guess. One of the last pieces that we drew was actually last year, the last time I drank, and it was the last time that I've had an alcoholic drink. That was last year, and it was one of the last vent pieces that we created, and it was titled "The Drink That Gives You a Splitting Headache" because it was supposed to represent a lot of, I guess, the feeling of splitting between identities under the influence. So me and Austin kind of like created that together. Austin is more of the drinker than I am. I mean, I haven't had a single drink in a year. It's been almost exactly a year as of recording this. By the time this goes up, it's been a year and a couple months, which is nice. It feels nice. Like, we have different ways of expressing ourselves artistically. So when I sit down and I'm like, okay, I want to like draw something, I can't really always tell like what it is I want to draw or what emotion I'm feeling, because our emotions are affected by one another's emotions. So sometimes I'm in a bad mood because someone else is, or sometimes I feel very lonely or sad because of someone else. My mood also affects like everyone else's mood sometimes. So it's like creating vent pieces can often vary greatly by like theme or tone. But I guess that's pretty much it. I mean, other than, struggles with our overlapping identities, the only other thing, other than, our hobbies and interests and how our identities overlap or bleed into one another a lot, functioning as a system every day, it's a lot of internal dialogue. It is a lot of talking amongst ourselves and trying to figure out how we want to react to a situation or handle an issue that comes up, or just how we want to feel about a situation, how we want to like react to somebody. Sometimes it basically feels like in a video game when you go to talk to someone, it gives you options on different ways to respond to the person, and like me waiting and trying to pick an option is like, that's us talking amongst ourselves and trying to figure out like, do we get mad at the person? Do we show them like kindness and understanding? Do we like let them know like, hey, the thing you said or did upset me? It's quite a struggle, but that's pretty much it. December is closing out, and the series is closing out, and the year is closing out. I feel like my current backdrop, all that, I feel like that's too loud. Not that that's going to be there for very long. I'll probably keep, I don't know, I guess it's there for the winter solstice and for the end of 2021. I don't know how I will decorate it next, but we'll see. Maybe we'll start the new year maybe with a new backdrop, something nice for people to look at while I'm talking, I guess. And then after this year, I've got some plans for new types of content. I've got plans for, I guess, shifting the focus of this channel because there is only so much I can talk about identity-wise. So I'll be doing shorter content, and it'll be just a little bit different in focus. We'll see what happens. I'm still conceptualizing things. I'm still working on doing new series, and yeah, lots of little changes happening. Anyway, I am signing off for now. See you later.